This is the moment I have been waiting for nearly a year. I have owned a European Wii U simply to play Wii Dare, but because of this, I can finally see what all the hubbub was about with the Wii U in Europe. So this is one of the pros to just straight up buying a European Wii U instead of modding my actual my North American Wii just to play European games. I could have done that. I got far enough. So I modded my Wii, my original Wii, the Wii I owned when I was a kid. I modded that. As in, I just installed like the homebrew channel or whatever, and I found like methods of playing PAL discs. But so many of the resources I found kind of more so told you how to play Japanese discs, but I wanted PAL, and I got far to the point where I could put the disc. I put the disc in, and it would show up on the Wii channel, and it would play like the Ubisoft logo, and then it would freeze. So I just said, you know what? I desperately want to see what the European Nintendo eShop is on Wii U, so I'll just buy a straight up Wii U that's PAL. And here we are. I actually haven't looked at this since I bought this. I bought this for Wii Dare, and then I shelved it, and now I'm back because I want to play Wii Chess, damn it. So this is the European eShop, and it looks pretty damn similar to how the Wii U eShop is over here. The difference is I see a lot of different graphics. These guys right here, I don't, those weren't on the North American shop. Now these might have been on the North American shop at some point, like throughout its life, but I never remember seeing these. So I think these are kind of like European exclusive ones. And especially compared to how the eShop looks now, yeah, these definitely aren't on there. And especially in the spotlight this week, no thank you, that's not on the North American shop. But that's interesting, considering I'm sure this hasn't been updated for well over a week. But yeah, we have Breath of the Wild, No Kingdom, No Memories. After a 100-year slumber, all he had left was hope. Wake up, Link. That's interesting. I wonder if that was like the one of like kind of like the European ad campaign, or at least kind of like a thing they were going with in Europe, because I don't remember that. I don't remember that like tagline that saying. I mean, like obviously Wake Up Link was like part of Breath of the Wild, but like that entire tagline, I don't remember that ever being used in North America. We have some DLC. Actually, let's see what the European Breath of the Wild icon looks like. Come on. It looks the exact same, except the top is the European box art, which probably isn't what it looks like here in North America, as in like the header here. I assume the header on the eShop page is the standard Breath of the Wild box art for North America and Japan, because Europe they got this this elfy looking one where it looks like a whimsical forest adventure, and it still looks good, but I do prefer the North American one. So that was the tagline here. I don't know if that was the tagline here in North America. Yeah, pretty much everything is very, very similar to North America, except we have Peggy, and then Ink Vat. I have no idea what that even means, but oh well. There we have DLC, Minecraft Wii U edition, Smash for Wii U, add-on content available. Add-on content available. They got everything. Let's see, Mario Maker, Splatoon, Mario 3D World, Treasure Tracker, Mario Party 10. I will say, from what I remember the North American shop looking like, this is a bit nicer looking. I will reiterate, this is much nicer looking. Oh my god. This looks so much nicer. This looks so cooler. The North American one just kind of uses like these, they just use like stock renders of like different character art. Like they'll have like just like I don't know, like Toad just running, and then they'll say, "Oh, kids games," and then they'll show like Sonic from Sonic Boom, and they'll talk, "Oh, Sonic games," and they'll just be on these like these basic ass color backgrounds. Here, like these look like really cool, like just you know, like differently formatted versions of like the box arts. You know, I like the color they chose for 3D World there, having the red spotted background. It was apparently Captain Toad was a Nintendo Select. I don't believe it was a Nintendo Select here in North America. I believe that was a European only Nintendo Select. It's also interesting because, you know, they do usually, not usually, but, you know, sometimes they'll have different trailers for European territories, and I don't necessarily remember the Captain Toad history trailer. I don't remember that from North America, but then again, I mean, like, I was following Captain Toad's, like, overall, I was following Captain Toad up until its release, but, I wasn't feverishly following it, so I probably didn't watch, like, literally every single damn trailer, but this very much feels like a European Nintendo trailer. Like, I don't know why, but I can very much distinctly tell what's a European Nintendo trailer, because it's, they do these, like, very fluid animations with, like, the text and graphics like that, like how you see the text at the bottom there. And Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon was just called Luigi's Mansion 2 in Europe. Don't know why they were so opposed to the number 2 over here, but, you know, it's whatever. Yeah, this is very... this is very much a European Nintendo trailer, which is fun. But, yeah, I believe Captain Toad was only a Nintendo Select in Europe. Maybe Mario Party 10 was as well. Yeah, I believe Mario Party 10 was a Nintendo Select because it's only 20. It's only 20 pounds over here. Yep, it was a Nintendo Select. It definitely was not a Nintendo Select over here in North America. I don't know if I should be proud of that or not, because that game does not deserve to be a Nintendo Select, but it definitely deserves to be $20 or below. Browse all Wii U games. They just have them all. 319, that's pathetic. I assume this isn't all because it says 319 and it's showing like all the indie. I know this sounds really bad. I'm just gonna say indie garbage on Wii U. Don't mean all indie games are garbage, but the Wii U just was flooded with stuff when Nintendo just started accepting anything, because they started accepting damn near anything for the Wii U eShop. So pretty much anybody and everybody was making, like, okay, that art looks pretty cool on, like, you know, it's a cute little character design there, but I guarantee you this is just like an endless runner or something along those lines. So this is pretty much just like little tiny mini games. This reminds me of like mobile games where it would be like, oh man, I don't know. It reminds me of an iPhone game I had back in high school when my standards were really, really low for what I'd play on my iPhone. They still are pretty low. I don't play a lot on my iPhone, but like the games I'll play are literally the stupidest things ever. Like they're literally games that are like, oh man, paint this area, paint this area, and it's just like it's literally like the most basic garbage ever that I see like mobile game ads pop up for. So yeah, never mind. My standards are actually kind of lower right now, but it was just like very simple, very simple, barely anything to them mobile games. And no offense, but that did remind me of that. But yeah, the Wii U just had a lot of random garbage added to it near the end of its life there. But I'm liking how this is looking here. Look at that. Look at that. That's beautiful. Mario 64 and Ocarina of Time. My God. And then all these controller setups. So they had a similar thing in North America, where they showed like all of this. They had a similar format, but I don't think they ever added TurboGrafx 16. And Wii is a bit of an oddball because like these games aren't technically virtual console games, but they're just like, hey, it's older systems, whatever. I highly doubt. That was the name of Rhythm Heaven Fever. Which is interesting. Yeah, but like, I don't believe there were really any like Wii games that were exclusive to Europe in terms of stuff that like they only put out on the Wii U eShop. Wii games that were only available in Europe. Maybe Mario Sports Mix. That might have been, or Wario Land, the Shake Dimension, as it was called over there. I'm not sure. Let's see. Because by the time they were adding like Wii games constantly to the eShop, I kind of I don't know, I kind of stopped caring as much about what was being added to the Wii U eShop. Like they started adding a bunch of stuff, but it was around the time I just did not care that much. Like, by the time they started adding TurboGrafx 16 titles, the Nintendo Switch already got announced. Like, I was just like, man, I don't care. Like, maybe I would have cared back in, like, 2014, but they just waited too long to put out different... And why... Aw, man. I hate when they do stuff like this. Why is TurboGrafx spelled like that? The G needs to be a little capitalized. And you also need to put a -16 at the end of it? Come on, guys. Lame. Let's see, browse by categories. They just have Mario and Zelda with 8-bit spread. That's cute. I like that. Again, like these are so much more. I love the icons here. They're so much nicer. And the Nintendo Selects line. Let's see. So Mario 3D World and Wind Waker. Those were both Nintendo Selects over here. Yes. Mario Party 10 was not. New Super Mario Bros. U plus New Super Luigi U were not Nintendo Selects over here as well, which is interesting because I always found it interesting how New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe on the Switch acted like, oh man, we're combining these two games for the first time. You know, this is a momentous occasion. You know, this gives you so much bang for your buck. This is literally that. They literally combine these two games, and it includes like boost mode that uses the Wii U gamepad where you can put blocks on the screen. There are challenges involved in that, and this was $20. So overall, this is the far better package, and it also doesn't have that dumb thing where if you jump in Mario U Deluxe and you hit the jump button again, then you do the spin, and that's just a terrible idea. Like there's so many times when like you're holding down the jump button, and it registers as two jumps, so you accidentally spin when you didn't want to. So I don't know why they were acting like U Deluxe was a big deal because they already did it on the Wii U. Nintendo Land was a Nintendo Select over here, which was it was kind of like how they did it back when Wii Sports became a Nintendo Select, which I did finally buy that, which is fun. Because they re-released Wii Sports like in 2011 or something. And it was like fully available in stores. Like it was fully available in stores. Like it wasn't just a part of like the Wii bundles. Like you could just buy it separately for $20 as a Nintendo Select. And it was the only reason why I think that's cool is that it officially gave you an officially made Wii Sports case, which I liked. But it felt kind of like completely, I don't know what the word, like worthless, because like everybody already owned Wii Sports, and Nintendo Land got re-released via Nintendo Selects, and it just kind of felt like a way for Nintendo to just say they added a new game to the Nintendo Selects lineup without really adding a new game, because Nintendo Land was a Wii U pack-in for most people. Like it wasn't available via the basic set. And as time went on, they phased it out in favor of stuff like Mario 3D World and Mario Kart 8 and Splatoon, other random games as a part of like the Wii U pack-in for the deluxe set. But pretty much anybody who wanted Nintendo Land already had it. Like anybody who wanted Nintendo Land bought a Wii U that came bundled with it. So it was always a little weird to me that, you know, they released it for $20 as a Nintendo Select when like it just like, you know, it was kind of like, okay, you know, like thanks, but it's also like everybody who wanted this game already had it. Like it was definitely not in high demand, especially now because you can easily get it for like $1 because, you know, it was a pack-in. Everybody had it. if you wanted it or not. So, Captain Toad, I believe, was not a Nintendo Select. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze was a Nintendo Select. Which made it even funnier when Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze came out for the Nintendo Switch and cost $60 because only a couple years prior to them doing that, Nintendo basically valued the game at $20. Cool! Wii Party U, that was not a Nintendo Select over here. I didn't play much of Wii Party U, but I wasn't super into it. I think the Wii Party games are really, really cool when it comes to like finding interesting ways to use the controllers outside of the TV. Because like my favorite thing they did with Wii Party, the original Wii Party on Wii, was like it was a game where everybody in the room except for you left, and you had to hide each Wii remote in the room somewhere, and they would play noises throughout the speaker, and that was ingenious. That was such a fun use of the Wii remote, and I loved that, and that was so cool. But then everything else with Wii Party, I'm not as big of a fan of. Like the board game and just any other thing like that, where they kind of take these they just take like modes that are somewhat similar to like Mario Party modes or Mario Party side modes, and they try to put that in Wii Party. They just weren't as fun to me. Like I don't know. And from the little I played of Wii Party U, it really didn't grab me. They used a lot of really kind of annoying gamepad gimmicks, in my opinion, that just weren't my favorite. It was more so like, this isn't fun or interesting use of the gamepad. This is more so very annoying use of the gamepad that makes me kind of wish, like, can I just use the Wii remote, please? Lego City Undercover, that was a Nintendo Select. I didn't really get into that game that much. It was cool, but I did not play it for very often. I played it for like 2 hours or so. I think the load times really turned me off. Let's see, they have the different genres. That's the thing. So this is similar to the North American eShop, but instead this is more so kind of based entirely on genre, and they have Mario and Zelda categories up there, and then they have indie categories. But in the North American version, it's more so like each spot was kind of its own. Like they were all the same sizes, and they had categories like, oh, Mario games, Zelda games, Sonic games, free to play games, blank games, and then they might have had like, oh, platformers, RPGs. This is very much more so just straight up genres. And I like the little designs, the little icons they have down there, like little whatever, the little footers. This is playing create sports. I like that. It's also interesting how they just straight up have some Wii games here that are like, oh, they have Xenoblade, Mario Strikers, games you can play online. It's interesting. And that's just called Shooter. Let's see what's under sports. Mario Strikers Charged Football. It's interesting. So, like, Europe has some weird name tendencies, and, like, the only two examples that I have is the fact that that's called Mario Strikers Charged Football. That implies there's another version of Mario Strikers that is not football related, which I know football is the European term for soccer, but it just implies that, like, there's Mario Strikers Charged, which isn't football, and then the Mario Strikers Charged Football Edition or something like that. The other one I'm thinking of is Mario and Luigi, the Mario and Luigi series, because I believe the 3DS entries all have brothers at the end of the titles. Like, instead of it being called Mario and Luigi Dream Team, it's called Mario and Luigi Dream Team Bros. And then there's, like, Mario and Luigi Paper Jam, but then in Europe it's called Mario and Luigi Paper Jam Bros. I have absolutely no idea why they did that, because that makes absolutely no sense. I don't understand. I don't understand where. Oh, Mario Slam Basketball. It's not called Mario Hoops 3-on-3. Oh my god. But either way, like it's just weird. Like I don't know if like I don't really understand, like, is there, like, parts in Europe that would make, that title would make more sense in? I don't know. It's interesting. Applications. There's Crunchyroll. We had that. Art Academy Sketchpad, which they had the full release of that, which was called Art Academy Altair, I believe. And that got a physical release in Europe. We got it over here as Art Academy Home Studio, I believe. And it was just digital only. So, rats. Have some panorama. Yeah, wow, that's about it. That is about it. That's interesting. Huh. Let's see. Highlights on Nintendo Switch. Now, this is also interesting, considering I don't think we'd have this in the North American eShop. This is more so, they say, like, oh, what's going on Nintendo Switch or something like that. But these are like these are big boy icons right here. So we have Smash Ultimate. Let's see what's on the Smash Ultimate page. So it looks like they seem to have been updating the European eShop far more than the North American one, I think. I'm not sure though. I'm trying to recall if the North American eShop had, like, for some reason I recall it seeing like a Mario Maker 2 ad. I'm not sure. It's very fun to see Fortnite on the Wii U. That's fun. Is this like a it's just gonna play a trailer. I don't care. Nintendo Labo, Splatoon 2. Then New Leaf, Detective Pikachu. And then that's interesting. They even have a section about smart device apps. Which, yeah, I cannot click on at all. I cannot at all. It's literally just a little whatever thing. But yeah, the only one that I've played an extensive amount of is Mario Run, which I think gets a bit too much. I think it gets a bit too much of like a negative reception. I thought it was a fun little game. Like, it wasn't amazing, but it was like, for an iPhone Mario game, I thought it did pretty well. My problem was, like, obviously it was too expensive. But it was also like, I think, like, I don't know. For an iPhone game, that's something where you don't necessarily want it to end. It's something where it's like, you know, you just want to open it up and keep playing, you know, play whenever you have some extra time. And you could technically do that with, like, the little Toad Rally mode, but, you know, the thing that, like, was, like, the most compelling was obviously the main campaign mode, which was, you know, like, just playing through all the stages and collecting all the coins. And there was a complete end to that, and it was fairly easy to do so. And I don't know, like, I just felt like for that kind of game, I felt like they were a bit stingy with the amount of levels they had for it. There was probably only like 30, and none of them were at all very, like, they just weren't like that compelling. They were just kind of like brain dead Mario levels where it's just like, yeah, you know, this is fun enough, I'll play this, whatever. I think they really could have put a lot more levels in there. Or they could have made more of like a full-on endless thing where it's like it just keeps on going, until you're dead. I think there was a lot more ways they could have done. I think there were far more things they could have done with that. But I still enjoyed Mario Run. Pocket Camp, I just could not get into. I played for like 10-20 minutes, and I just did not see the appeal at all. Like, I don't even have anything to say about it. Like, I just couldn't get into it at all. Fire Emblem Heroes, also, again, like, I mean, like, I could see the appeal, it's just not really my thing. Could not get into it at all. But you already know that. But let me actually see the indies. That might be interesting. I'm trying to think of anything that was, like, only in Europe, because that would be the most interesting to check out. And a lot of these bring me back to kind of like that simpler time during the Wii U era, because very obviously the Wii U era wasn't as good as the Switch era in terms of just like Nintendo doing well and getting a bunch of support. But you know, it kind of reminds me, like, I do look back fondly on those Wii U days and the early days of the Switch a bit more than now, just because it just felt like Nintendo was I mean, like, they were taking anything they could get, But because of that, like there was a lot more time to highlight these super high quality indie titles. Like something like if Fast RMX, which that's not this game. Oh, I still don't know actually. I never played Fast Racing Neo, so I don't actually know how much different Fast RMX is on the Switch. But Fast RMX, if that came out now in 2020 randomly, it would get absolutely buried. Like nobody would be talking about it. There would be a few people talking about it, but the fact that it came out on launch for the Switch, people played it and people talked about it, and it was cool. And you know, like there was like other random stuff like Shantae Half Genie Hero came out for the Switch, and that was a cool little moment. And then you had like stuff like Little Inferno on the Wii U, and let me see, Bit Trip 2, the Steam World games, Guacamelee, Shovel Knight was a huge deal. Axiom Verge coming out on Wii U was cool. There was just it gave you more time to appreciate the smaller, super high quality titles, and I thought that was really, I don't know, it was just this special feeling that is slightly lost right now because too many games are coming out for the Switch. And Nintendo's trying to highlight as many as they can, but you know, it kind of takes away a bit of the specialness of like those original indie games on Wii U. Like, and I know I just kind of like dogged on whatever, some of the indie games that, you know, whatever, the Browse All Wii U games, indie games, like Dying is Dangerous, 89 cents. Let's see exactly why it's so dangerous. Give it to me. What? What? Well, so I have no idea. That's fun. That's fun. 12 and up, sure. But, you know, like, Nintendo didn't really highlight these games. They just kind of let them on. Like, they just basically let them on the eShop. You know, the games they really highlighted in directs and that whatnot, you know, those are what I'm talking about there. But let me just see, let me see the charts. Let me see what's going on over here. This may be interesting. Let me see. There's Dr. Kawashima. I just want to see if there's any Europe exclusives or anything like that. Because right now, it's not looking like it. Because I can't necessarily think of many Wii U games that were European exclusive that were big deals. There was Fatal Frame, which was Project Zero in Europe, which wasn't exclusive, but was exclusively physical, if you wanted like the English release, I guess. Like it got a physical release in Europe, which is cool. Over here was just this weird free to start thing, like what this is, I guess. Where it was like, oh, you download it for free. Well, it was that over here too. It was that over here, as we can see there. But instead, it was like this. You could either download it for free on the eShop and then pay like $50 after like the first level or two to play the rest of the game, or you could just buy it physically. They had like a physical release, but it was much more limited, I believe. No! Insufficient. Oh wait, I thought it said insufficient space available. Well, thank God. Man. Yeah, Amiibo Tap was called Amiibo Touch and Play. Nintendo Classics Highlights. I don't like that name nearly as much. I think the name in North America was Amiibo Tap Nintendo's Greatest Bits. I like that name a lot more, and I'm a little upset that they wasted using that name on Amiibo Tap of all things, because I think that name is really clever and cute, and they could have used it for like anything else. They could have used it for a cooler like little retro throwback thing, but instead they used it on Amiibo Tap. So like, yeah, the name for Amiibo Tap isn't as good in Europe, but at least it didn't waste a good one. Let's see. I'm really interested to see if I can find anything that was like 100% like exclusive. I mean, like, I know some things are, but like I'm talking about things that are actually worthwhile. Because I know like there's like random things that just are like whatever, like garbage games that are European exclusive for Wii U. But I'm trying to think if there's anything like from major publishers or anything like that, and I don't think there really was. If you want any of those, I'm pretty sure you want to go for like Japan stuff. And the only other stuff that was like heavily exclusive that was like really worthwhile were physical games. Like it's just like you could get Project Zero and Art Academy physically in Europe, and like but like those are still available in North America, but they're only, you know, like downloadable. Special offers. Let me see. My Style Studio Hair Salon. That reminded me of like Style Savvy, I believe, which I heard was actually not a bad game. But this is